Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we're live. Okay, guys. So, welcome to our two. Okay, camera be safe. So I need to shift a little bit here. Okay, so we have got a few screens going on, so that's why we need to adjust a little bit. We'll take a picture after. What is up, Michael? And Sangi is here as well.
Hey, Sam.
So I didn't know you were called Jamal Choi. In one moment, we are setting up the other screens. No.
Let's look at that hard line.
How do you do that?
It's so J though, wouldn't you say? Like, it's so J. It suits you. All right.
2, 1, go. Okay.
And we're live on that one as well.
Let's go.
Okay, so welcome everybody to our 2-day masterclass. And on this event, we're going to share with you everything we've learned so far on this trip and distill it into a 2-hour webinar that you can learn to break free from wherever you are right now and find your success. And very briefly, we're going to just introduce ourselves. So my name is Sean, and I'm from Singapore. This is
Jonathan Mercado from New York.
This is Monica Vargas, born in Korea but raised in Arkansas, living in New York.
Hey, this is Jay from Korea, South Korea, raised in Argentina, and now living in the States for 20 years.
Hey, this is Alice. I'm from Taiwan.
Okay, great.
All right.
That was awesome.
This is proof that this is live.
Yeah, so before we share with you how we achieved what we managed to do, very briefly, we're just gonna tell you our stories and how we got to where we are right now. So for myself, for most of my life, for the last 10 years, I was a full-time martial artist, right? So I just practice and teach martial arts, and that was my main thing. So on weekdays, I would coach fencers, okay, and I would train myself. And on the weekends, I would practice and teach martial arts. So that was my life. Every day, just practice, train, teach, practice, train, teach, practice, train, and teach. And I was getting paid on average for about just $50 an hour. And at the time, because my consciousness was at the 50 per hour level, that was exactly what I got myself into. And I was stuck at that level so long, I couldn't see. You know, I was so deep in the forest, I couldn't see the trees. I couldn't see how lost I was. And I was happy thinking that that would just be the end of it. Until as I carried on, I realized that, hey, wait a minute, the last 10 years, this is what I've been doing, $50 per hour, right? And I realized that I cannot spend the next 10 years doing the same thing. So that was when I sat down and came to a clear decision that this had to stop, right? I cannot continue living the next 10 years the same way I was doing. So when I made that decision, everything started to change, right? I managed to acquire my first high income skill, that is in copywriting. And then afterwards, I acquired my second high income skill, that's high ticket closing. And combine these two high income skills, completely changed my life around, right? And just last month in November, I managed to hit my first 10K month, right? So this is a long story cut short, and the way that I did it is all here, right? And that's the common thing that you'll be hearing today, and we'll be going more into detail as far as the how is concerned after this. So John, you're next.
Yes. So hey everyone. So I guess I have more of a traditional, 9-to-5 escape story, but it's still special because it's me and I love this in my life, and I know because all of you know me, it's possible for me, it's possible for you. So to get started, I went to college for business accounting. Was told, the traditional path, you go to college, you get the corporate job, and you make money, you ride it out. And, you know, it sounded great. There really wasn't that too much wrong with it. You know, it's a nice salary, grateful for the job. But what they don't teach you, what they don't teach you is all the other possibilities out there. So, you know, I began to get curious, I think, about a couple months into my job. It was fine, and then the feelings started to wear down, and it became more of like, oh shit, you know, I gotta wake up, I gotta work, and it was almost like a slap in the face of reality, and it was very different than what I experienced before. And then I just assumed, because I didn't know any better, that that was a feeling of living, and that was just life. And I came to find out that I was very wrong. So I you know, questioned my feelings for about 2 years before, I think it was really last year. At the start of 2018, I decided that enough was enough. You know, I was tired of being stuck in the cycle, waking up, struggling to get out of bed, going to an office, just mentally drained, confused, and my mind was always in a fog because, I don't know, it was in a fog, and I didn't know any better. I was always in front of a computer, and it wasn't really what I wanted to be doing. So after a series of books, first book that I actually wrote was called Think and Grow Rich. So after that book really got some of my thoughts stirring. So came to the conclusion last year that enough was enough, and I made a decision. And it was funny at the time because I didn't know what I was going to do, but I decided I'm going to start a business and let's just go. So I started with a website on a path to be a life coach, and that came crashing down very, very fast. I was just over my head and thought starting a business would be easy. But what happened after that was very unexpected. And after that crashed, another opportunity came up, and it was an opportunity to learn a new skill set. Just like Sean was saying, he acquired a skill set of sales closing. So acquired a new skill set through a course, and that's actually how we all met. But acquired a skill set, went to this program, and I still wasn't seeing how things were connecting. Invested in a couple more programs, and things weren't really working. And then I finally came along to what I'm doing today, and things just started clicking. I'll get into the how tomorrow, but looking back, what really happened was throughout that whole process, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know my next move. I didn't have a plan. I made a decision, a real decision. I said, I'm committed, not just, I think I'm gonna do this. I made a committed decision and kind of just let life take over, let life take its place. And I was fortunate enough that that whole process only took about 1.5 years, where most people go throughout their entire lives, you know, not realizing or waiting and waiting and waiting and never doing it. You know, I did it in about 1.5 years, and I think I know I can do it even faster, and I'm gonna share that with you tomorrow.
Can I ask a question? So I think as all the audiences might wonder that, because you made the 6-figure income, which I don't know if you saw yourself achieving that goal, and you left a very promising career. And I'm wondering if you were to look back to yourself before you could even you couldn't even grasp achieving this goal, what would you tell yourself then? I would like to know.
So the initial thing that I kept telling myself, because I come from a place of martial arts and sports, so it's always practice, 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 and train hard, train hard, train hard. And even when I wasn't getting any results, I was still working extremely hard, thinking that the solution is to work even harder. And I am someone with a lot of willpower. I'm someone with a lot of willpower, and I can just keep going. And I got to a point where I had to decide if I was going to abuse my willpower and abuse my body and abuse my health and keep working hard, and that probably is success, right? So if I make $50 an hour, I just need to work very hard and succeed. But wait a minute, I don't have like unlimited time. We all have 24 hours a day, and if every hour I'm exchanging it for $50, then my strategy is shit. So I had to take a step back and say, yes, when I was young, I can do this, but now that I'm going into my 30s, that doesn't make sense. So instead of working hard, I needed to think properly. I needed to think accurately, and only then I had a chance to change. Because if I kept doing what I kept doing, then I would always stay at that $50 per hour level, right? So I would tell myself to stop working hard and rethink what you're doing.
I think what Sean, I totally relate to what Sean says, because my story, as a lot of you guys may know, I started as a pharmacist, and quickly I realized that I had landed in a six-figure. Okay, so my live is picture. Okay, it's not working. Okay, moving on. I realized that my six-figure salary in a job was actually my prison. It started to very quickly establish me in a lifestyle which was too dependent on a dollar for time, dollar for hours, just like Sean was saying, dollar for hour strategy, which meant that any time that if anything happened to me and I stopped working, my income would completely stop, my lifestyle would end immediately. And through my journey, I tried several businesses. I was very immature and I did things impulsively, and I lacked personal development. So I had no persistence, I had no consistency, and I was just doing things, thinking that because I had a doctorate in pharmacy, I was smart and I could learn everything faster than anyone else. And quickly I realized I went through very humbling experiences where it's not what you have in your head that actually makes you smart. It's actually what you do with what you know that brings you results. And I got schooled by people left and right, left very humble. And from there, I was able to say, okay, so what you are doing currently doesn't work. What do you choose to do different? And that's when, luckily, I met mentors who pointed me in the right direction with a lot of personal development, which helped me one day come after journaling. And like you were saying, reading Think and Grow Rich, I was journaling one day, and my mission statement in life came out of me. Just like something just shone light inside, and it was like, bam, this is your mission statement. Write it down. Do not forget it. This is what you're gonna live for. And my mission statement is to lead and inspire others to be truly unlimited. And since then, I made the decision that that's what I'm going to dedicate myself to. And everything changed afterwards. I did things I've never done before. And one by one, my life has started to come under order and in a sense of direction that is making every action that I take effective and efficient. So that's my story. Thank you.
And Jay, to add to that, so already a few of us have been talking, but what I really thought about that jumped out to me was I would go back and tell myself, don't worry about how, just do it. Whatever you feel like doing it, just go out and do it. No one's judging you. No one, I tell myself, like, no one actually cares. No one's critiquing you except yourself. Like, you're not that special. Like, nobody really cares. People still don't care. So, you're the only one that's holding yourself back. Just do it. And the how is not a question for you. That's a question for life. Just keep moving, and you're living. So life is going to unfold, and it's just stop getting in your own way as quickly and as best as you can.
That's awesome. Actually, thanks for bringing that up because I relate to that very much. How was really important to me. I've forced myself to become more spontaneous. Yes?
Yes.
Did you want to share something? No. Okay. Okay. So when I was younger, I was raised by a single mother in South Korea, and she had her own business. She managed to raise a family of 4, support us, but I saw that in order to do so, in order to get that amount of success, she had to work like crazy. She often skipped meals. She was always stressed, tense, and miserable at times. So naturally, I associated business, which is not always stable per se in my mind. It fluctuated. It's like, okay, so that's what entrepreneurship looks like. And and over time, I realized that job wasn't giving me the security that I always thought I had. And in order to live the life with purpose, I have to go out of my way, make decisions based on what I want. And when I finally made that decision, because I didn't know how, I just made the decision to go to an event actually right now in Toronto. And I'm not just talking about I want to go, but I'm committing to that decision. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get here. I bought the ticket, but I didn't have any of the resources to support my stay here. So I bought the ticket, and I felt, just like Jay said, I felt something shift in me. It's so weird to say. And within a week, it's really weird, but I attracted $4,000 to my way. And it enabled me to stay here.
Oh.
And I learned from the master thinker and, be surrounded by amazing people, you guys. So that's my story.
Yeah. Take it away, Alice.
So my story, wow, where do I start? It's a lot. Well, let's say I was a girl without a voice. I had no say in life. I was a victim of society, and I was always overworked, underpaid. I tried to do freelance because a lot of freelancers, you see all these designers out there, they charge these high prices for single designs, but the thing is, I lacked self-confidence, and the people around me made me feel even littler. So there was this one time, and you guys don't even know this. There was this one time I did a design for this company. I charged $200, but later on I found out I could have easily charged 20 grand minimum for this set of designs.
Ouch.
Yeah, I was cursed. So overworked, underpaid, and my most recent job was at this e-commerce company in this beauty industry. And so many working hours. There was a period of time I only slept 3 hours per day. And one day when I got off work, I was on the bus home. I just lost half my eyesight. It was 30 seconds, but like super scary. Like half my eyesight. And the bus was moving. And so I went to see my doctor, and he just said, hey, if you keep on working like this, you're gonna have a stroke very soon. So I was forced to take a step back and say, okay, is this it? Is this how I'm gonna go upstairs, like upstairs? So
And,
yeah.
And what I'm really seeing that connects us here, and what I now know to be true is that what connects us to those that are watching this too is that we've all come to a place where in life where we realize that trading our skills, time, and effort for dollars, time for dollars, everything that we can bring and we can actually give amazing value by doing what we are really truly passionate about, and when we're free to do it, we can amplify that value by doing creative things like this, where we're opening up all our channels on social media and sharing our stories to connect with you guys. And the reason why we're able to do this is because we're not exhausted and overworked from a job that's run by a system where it's designed to keep us down and literally through some source of means keep us where we are just comfortable enough to live a life that we can tolerate, yet we're not happy about, and it's like so like well calibrated. However, what we're wanting to share here is that you do not have to be beat down by that system. We're here to show you that since we are doing it, you can do just what we're doing, and it's not that hard when you step forward. You just have to, I think it was Martin Luther King said, and I'm not a very great paraphraser, but Dr. Martin Luther King said, you do not have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step. So we want to encourage all of you, if there's anything that's tugging in your heart and telling you that you want to do something, that there's something that you can do better, that you want a better life, whatever it is, start to go after it. Take the first step.
Yes, like Jay said, you and I, we're not that different. We're just normal people, human beings. We don't have like ET technology 16. So
man.
We kind of like stepped out of our comfort zones years ago, but we let that mental cage trap us and keep us from taking that leap of faith, and we kind of learn to jump and grow wings on the way down.
And the common thing that is the same for all of us is that at the point that we were stuck and we were struggling the most, we have two choices. We can continue doing what we were doing and pretend that everything is okay, which maybe some of you might be doing right now, and just continue doing what you're doing, pretending that everything is okay. or you can change. Because if you keep doing the same thing, then you're going to be staying there forever, right? And also, wherever you're watching this, either like if you're live right now or maybe later you watch the replay, like comment below, what is your takeaway when you hear all of our stories, and how does it apply to you? So if you find yourself in a similar situation where you feel stuck, or you are just living a life where maybe you think you are successful, but you're not happy, or maybe you're in a life where you're doing what your family or your friends or society expects you to do, or what you think they expect you to do, but what do you want to do, right? So inside, you know, when you hear our stories and you listen to yourself, you know truly what's going on the inside, and you know what you truly want. And I'll tell you right now, like, your time on this world, in this world, is limited. So if you choose the first option and continue doing what you're doing, that is also a choice. And that choice you make is going to burn away all the time and effort that you are still going to give out anyway. And if you're not happy, nothing's going to change. And for a lot of people, like, they're dead on the inside. You know, by the time their heart stops beating, it's only a formality, because they were never alive, right? So you have to go deep and ask yourself, like, okay, I'm right here now. What are my options? Am I going to continue doing what I'm doing? Am I happy? Do I want to stay there, or do I want to change? Because the moment you say, it stops here, it's enough, right? I want to change. The moment you can say that to yourself, things will start to change.
And this is the thing, and somebody asked me a question once that really hit me hard, and it was like, how many times have you really wanted to do something and you let your excuse stop you? Or how many times have you heard people say, yeah, I'll do that when my kids go to college. I'll do that when, when I reach a certain milestone. I'll do that when I get married. I'll do that when I have a kid. I'll do that when my kids are grown. I'll do that when my girlfriend, and I get married. I'll do that when whatever. And you kept on saying that over and over and over until you never did it. And actually, the person who I learned that lesson from is, this is very personal, but it's my mom, because she came from a very poor background in a very harsh time in Korea, when after the Korean War, the country was rebuilding itself, and we went through severe challenges. And because of that, she never had a chance to finish all her studies completely to what she wanted. And it was like, she always said, okay, I'm going to finish my studies after I get married. I'm going to finish my studies after my kids are grown and go to college. Then I'm going to go to college. I'm going to finish it. And one thing led to the other. And my own mother has not been able to graduate college, because she always said, until something happens, I'm not going to be ready. Until something happens, I'm not going to be ready. And that just became a self-fulfilling prophecy. And, that is the reality of it.
And by the way, Jay has a PhD. He's a doctor and a freaking PhD.
Yeah.
Dr. Lee!
Other than that, he has like 15 other degrees in like acupuncture and all that stuff, but he's not using it. So like, what would you say to people that, right now they are living the kind of life that you used to have, where they are stuck inside their jobs? And even for Mercado, he worked in the bank for how long?
It was only 3.5 years, but it was long.
And there's a lot of money in it, right?
Yeah, you could be comfortable. You could be fine.
And earlier today you were saying if you stay long enough, you're gonna make partner and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, you're not living. When you're waiting too long, then you just get more used to it. You get caught in your habits, and that's when it becomes dangerous. And not to say that, my background, my career, my corporate, it is right for some people. They are really good at what they do and they're happy with it. But this is for those who are not happy. If you're not happy, there's no reason to be waiting. And to give you a little more insight, you may feel you're making a step forward and then you fall back and you're alone. And this is why we're all up here together. So we're a unit and we're all entrepreneurs, but we're together. And if you're all watching this now, one of us, which means we're here for you. If you're going through it, you're making a choice, reach out to us. We're here to help you, and we have people helping us. We have mentors, and you're never doing this alone. So that's something that I really wanted to emphasize.
And just like Ricardo was saying, just like, the question you asked me, Sean, is you go through all this studying and you become very smart. You think that you know all these things because you get a certificate from somewhere. And listen, because of my mother, I'm very grateful that I stayed disciplined enough to finish my degrees. But also it was partly because my mother wanted me to get the degrees that she couldn't have. So I wasn't 100% sure whether I was pursuing those degrees because I really wanted it or because I was wanting to do my best for my mom, because I didn't know better yet. And guys, do not get me wrong. I'm a severe mama's boy. I'm not condoning. I'm not like saying anything bad about my mom.
Yes,
It's just that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
and I'm just saying that I did my best with what I could until I realized that ultimately what my mom wanted for me was to be happy, and for me to be happy, I have to make my own decisions, and I have to start to learn to live by putting my best foot forward, not somebody else's, or not through somebody else's input, but let who I really am come forth into the world so that I know that I am being everything that I can be or I am meant to be. And the message here is, I know that a lot of us, you just like me, have done things that you were just told to do because, quote unquote, you didn't even know any better. It doesn't have to keep going that way. And we are going to start showing you tomorrow. That's why this is a today event. Tomorrow, we're going to start uncovering the specific steps that took us from where we thought we were stuck to a place where now every day we are taking steps and doing things that we've never done before that actually opens us up, all of us, even including you guys, to start putting this into practice in your life. It's gonna open up a world of possibilities that before you just didn't see. Keyword is you didn't see.
Yeah.
It's already there.
And the reason, yeah, go ahead.
What we're trying to say is, do you want to die at the age of 40 and be buried at 80? How many years do you get to live your life as you? Life isn't about the.
Wait, hold on. That was a little bit deep. That was a little bit. I think. Hold on. We have to take a second to let that sink in. Can you say that again slowly?
Yeah.
Do you want to die at the age of 40 and be buried at 80? When are you going to start living your life as you?
Yes, very well said. And that's exactly why I asked the book.
Yeah, it's still landing on me.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's take a while.
I'm still digesting.
Whoa, like.
Life isn't about the number of breaths you take. It's about the moments that take your breath away.
Woo! Okay, dropping some fire. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How do you come up with these
That was good. That was good. I made that song.
So the reason I asked them about their previous job experience is because that is what they thought they wanted to do, because that is what they thought society and other people wanted them to do. Now, is what you're doing what you want to do? And you cannot lie to yourself. And the reason why we're making this video is because we are teammates, we work, we learn, we train together, and we learn all this stuff, the science of the mind and the success mindset. We learn all these things, and we have a responsibility to share it. Because if we learn all this and we keep quiet and it's going to stay stuck within us, that's not healthy. Right? What we want, what we're learning, we want to share with all of you guys. And if you listen and watch up to this point, you know exactly what we're saying. And earlier on, I was saying that you have to make that decision and decide, are you going to continue doing what you want, or are you going to change? Right? There's no third way. Either you continue doing what you want, or you say, I need to make a change. Right? So if you after this video you carry on doing what you want, then that's it. But if you say, okay, wait a minute, I get why they're sharing their stories, I get why they're making this live, and I get the point. And yes, I need change. Yes, I want to change. I need to break this pattern, whatever I'm doing. I don't care how, I don't know how, but I need to break it and create something new. The same way all of us have done. Now, the moment you decide that you want change, the next question you have to ask yourself is how? What next? So that's exactly what we're going to share with you tomorrow in 24 hours, same time, right here, wherever you're watching, same time, same place. Tomorrow, we're going to share with you the how. And you'll see that although all of our stories are different, and we come from different backgrounds, different countries, different everything, but you'll see that the principles that enable us to find the success we have are the same. Now, why are they the same? Because it's a law. It's the law of this world. And if it worked for all of us, it will work for you, because the law doesn't fail. The law doesn't change. You don't see the law of gravity take a day off and then pigs start floating into the sky. The laws don't change, but we can. Now, if you cannot change, then that's not a good place to be.
And if you guys are anything like me, who have been in the educational system for longer than you needed necessarily, you're gonna think that you know everything there is to know. I was cocky enough to think that for a time, and I was super skeptical about everything that was outside of what I already do. So it was like, okay, so I know everything about, like, quote unquote, I know everything about, like, human body and drugs and whatnot, and acupuncture and meridians and pressure points and all that stuff. But it was like, if you told me anything that contradicted that, I was skeptical, or I would argue to death with you just to prove that I was right. Now, another question that one of my mentors asked me very early on in my entrepreneurial journey was, Jay, are you about being right, or are you more about winning? I'm gonna ask you guys again, and ask yourself this question. Do you choose to always be right, or do you choose to win? Now, everybody's gonna have different answers to that, but depending on which one you gravitate toward, you're gonna be open to learn and grow, or you're gonna stay exactly in the box that you made for yourself without escaping. Now, why am I sharing this? Because if you are anything like me, like I was in the past, give yourself a chance that even though you're skeptical, even though something doesn't make sense for you just yet, allow yourself to jump and join us tomorrow and open your mind to something that may be unfamiliar to you, but something that is going to completely revolutionize the way you live.
So let me repeat that. So I can either choose to be right, or I can choose to win.
Yes.
So I would much rather admit that I'm wrong,
Yes.
and learn from someone who's winning,
Yes.
so that I can win.
Yes.
Okay, so what about Monica or Alice? Anything else to share?
I want to share that because I was someone who lacked clarity and I was lost for a long time. Simply put, I didn't know what I wanted. Because I was so used to limitations in life. So I remember Jay asked me a while back, like, what do you want? And I was giving him all sorts of answers that only directs to what I don't want. And I remember those. Yeah, and maybe it's ironic, like, you don't know what you want. But the thing is, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. So what I would suggest is, if you had zero limitations, if you had all the resources in the world, and if it was impossible for you to fail, what would you do? And whatever thought that comes up to resist it, oh, it's not realistic, blah, 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 just say next. Just focus on what it would do in a limitless world. Yeah. Alice, do you have anything else?
Mercado?
Or Jonathan?
While Alice thinks a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we're all sharing our stories to show you that it is possible, and I do want to share that we're all here, we're all young. This is the beginning of our journey. We're going to be doing this for a while. Imagine in a year what our life is going to be like. It's incredible, even if you act today, what your life will look like in a month, and 2 months, and 3 months, and a year. Like, I can't, like, I'm telling my story of corporate as if it was lifetimes ago. Like, I don't even know what it feels like to be like that anymore. I wake up every day happy. I wake up every day excited. I look forward to Mondays. That's my favorite day of the week now. And it's just a new life. And yeah, if we could do it, you could do it too. I'm bursting to tell you guys how, and we're gonna do it tomorrow. That's when the gloves come off. But just, for now, just, know it's possible for you.
Yeah, and stop playing in your mind with the question Monica left you guys with. Just forget everything. Just think about the fact, if I could not fail and I had all the money and resources that I could have to do what I truly desired in my heart, what would I be doing?
Right. And if you can unlock your true potential, discover what your potential, what your limit truly is. Let's just say.
Did you hear that, guys? Would you say that again slowly? You have to see stuff slowly.
Okay. Let's find out how to discover your true potential, and you will know whether or not you even have a limit to your potential. And let me just say, I'm not sure who said this, but hell on earth is not physical pain, not ghosts. Woo! Hell on earth is one day coming face to face to the person you could have become.
Yeah. And my own philosophy on this is that like death isn't a physical process. Like every second, like you're watching this and now by now you should know what you really want. And if you are unable to see that, or you can see that but you don't act on that, so every second that you lie to yourself, you're dying a little bit on the inside. And if you lie to yourself so much to the point that you completely die because you're not yourself anymore, you're an imposter of yourself, then as far as I'm concerned, you're already dead. You know. So you have to really think about what we share with you, and I think you know why we're doing this. And now, as far as the how is concerned, we're gonna share that with you tomorrow. So same time, same place, right over here. And if you're watching on Facebook, on our respective Facebook lives, remember to comment below. What is your main takeaway from this masterclass, and what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue doing what you're doing so that you get the same results, or are you going to change? All right, so comment below what is your main insight, what is your main takeaway, and also share a little bit about yourself. You know, do you have a same story same as us? Or if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe to our respective channels, and hit the bell also. Every time we release a video on personal development, you get notified. And if one more thing, so if you know of a friend that's stuck in their job, stuck in certain patterns, they need to quit smoking, or they need to quit drinking, or they need to quit gambling, or any vices or any pattern that they are stuck in, and they want to get out of it, do them a favor and tag them in the comments below as well. Or even better, send them the link, the URL to wherever you're watching this. And you never know whose life you could change when you take an action like that.
The PDF download link.
You say it.
I said it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, by the way, guys, so as a token of appreciation and love for you, for all of you investing your precious time for being with us, and also investing in yourself so that you can start unlocking yourself to a new future, we want to give you a preview of tomorrow's presentation in a PDF form, where you're gonna quickly be able to have an overview of exactly what the methodology that we're talking about is and how we can start to apply in your life. So we're gonna post the link on our comment sections after this live is done and finished. So stick around, make sure that you click on the link, drop your information, and get the PDF so that tomorrow you come in much more ready and really just excited to absorb everything we have to tell you, so that you can start putting what we give you in action in your life and start benefiting from it from the get-go.
The PDF is a summary of everything we just shared with you today. It's still into its essence, and it's our gift to you. It's free. Just find the link in the comment section. If you cannot find it, just message any one of us and we will send it to you. So it's a very simple form. Just fill up your name, and then you will get a message from us shortly, and you'll receive your free PDF guide. Right, so that is it. Anything else?
Any last thoughts, comments?
Yes, I just want to thank you all. I appreciate you all for being here. You know, we're doing this for you, but you're here as well, and this is what makes us feel good. This is why we do this. This is why we're here. We don't have to be here. So we thank all of you for being here. And something that a theme that I've been hearing the past couple days, week, is you are always in the right place at the right time. So just know that and accept that. So if you're here, it's for a reason. Just think about what that is for you.
I don't think you're not here just to acquire knowledge, right? You're here to change your lives, make a difference.
And what was it the other day that you said about knowledge?
Knowledge is only potential power.
And when is it really powerful?
You apply it
Thank you.
And pull your dreams into reality.
Yeah, pull them in, pull them in. Okay, anything else? Any last comments to cap this off?
I'm good.
I'm good. All right, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for being with us today. We love you, and we're doing this really, like Sean said previously, because we now have a duty and a responsibility to give you what we have, because that is who we are as people, and that is what we are as a mission for the world. We're here to improve everybody that comes in contact. We're striving every day to do our best and improve our skill sets and who we are, to give you even more of who we are, and in a better and more efficient form. Join us tomorrow to get more of that. And tomorrow we're gonna go into a little bit more detail. So come ready to take notes and get excited about how you're gonna apply the things that I said and get your mind blown.
Tomorrow is going to be extremely powerful. If you miss tomorrow, you are leaving a ton of success, a ton of everything on the table, because we're not gonna waste your time. We're gonna give you the exact methods, the exact formulas. It's not like woo woo foo like you know, meditate and that kind of thing. It's actual science that you can use. And if you see what we share with you and nothing changes in your life, then something is wrong. Because once you see what we share with you, you cannot pretend you never saw it. Right? So come back tomorrow, same time, same place. I'll see you here.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
I'm gonna get a picture of this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take a picture. Hey.
Yeah.
Selfie of the selfie. Hey.
An IT one.
All right, everybody. This was your boy Jay. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know why my laptop crashed out.